Get ready for a fresh take on My Hero Academia. Join us in part 1 as we explore the intriguing possibility of Deku falling for his best friend, Jirou. Let's dive in. Izuku's bedroom. Izuku thinking I already knew it, and still, I hoped it was not true. But maybe for someone as weak as me, thinking about love might just be impossible. Even though I knew I should wait until class to return her notes, I decided to visit her. The poor boy lay on his bed, already asleep, with a deep pain in his chest. He knew something had changed and that he couldn't see Uraka as his best friend anymore. 1 hour earlier, girls' floor. Our hero was exiting the elevator, on the girls' floor, heading specifically to Uraka's room to return the notes she had lent him. He had to go to the infirmary, causing him to miss the last classes of the day. The boy was about to knock on the door when he heard something that froze him. Mina, it's love. Uraka, ha. Mina, I knew it, I knew you were in love with Deku, that's what Uraka called him. Momo, Toru, and Tsuyu, surprised Jirou, appeared slightly annoyed by her expression, although she always wears that expression, so it's not unusual. Izuku stood paralyzed at the door upon hearing that. For a moment, he wanted to knock and pretend he hadn't heard anything, but his friend's response left him breathless. Uraka, it's not true. There's no way I could like someone like him. That blow felt like a Delaware smash. From All Might. He could only lean against the wall, practically without strength, so it didn't make a sound. Well, at least someone in the room could pick up that noise. Tsuyu, that's not nice of you, Ochako-chan, Karo. Uraka, but it's the truth. Momo and Mina, I think it's cute. Jirou, who had heard something in the hallway, girls, I have to go to my room for a moment, I left my phone there. All, okay. The girl left Uraka's room, just to confirm if she had heard something in the hallway, and she was right. The girl saw a green-haired boy sitting on the floor, looking totally depressed, so she could deduce what was happening. Jirou, Midoriya, did he? Izuku, yes. Jirou, are you okay? She seemed concerned about him. Izuku had a lost look. Yeah, could you give this to Uraka? I think I'll go to bed. Jirou, Midoriya, can I help you with something? She was more concerned. Izuku, just, don't tell her I heard that, please. All this happened on Friday, which meant they had 2 days off to do whatever they wanted. The night went on as usual for everyone, well, almost everyone. Our hero was depressed in his room, and on the other hand, Jirou, although she was with the girls, couldn't help but think about how she had seen Midoriya. Time skip / next morning. Izuku woke up with a pain in his chest. It was evident from his face that he hadn't slept well, and his gaze was lost. Usually, Izuku would wake up at 8 a.m. on Saturdays to go train at the beach, the same one he cleaned during his training with All Might. He left his room around 11 a.m., went down to the common area where some of his classmates were watching TV, chatting, or having breakfast. Deku-kun. A cheerful voice shouted, making everyone turn to look at them. Izuku, without looking her in the face, good morning, Uraka-san. Uraka, what's wrong, Deku? You look like you didn't sleep well. Izuku, I stayed up all night reviewing the classes I missed. Thanks for lending me the notes. Uraka, oh, right, Jirou returned my notebook. By the way, where did you give it to her? Deku, I was leaving your room and asked her as a favor, so as not to disturb the other girls. Uraka, noticed that he never looked at her. Deku, Tsuyu and I are going to the movies. Would you like to come? Izuku, I'm sorry, Uraka, but I want to be alone. The boy just grabbed an apple and left the dorms. He had completely forgotten about his training and just wanted to clear his mind. Behind the buildings, there was an area that looked like a big park, although it was mostly trees and a few benches. It wasn't anything special. Usually, you could find Sero or Tokoyami training there. The boy found a good spot and lay under a tree to rest for a while until he heard familiar voices. Momo and Jirou were passing by. Jirou saw the boy. She still didn't understand why, but her heart ached to see him like that. Jirou, Momo, could you go ahead? I think I left my iPod in the gym, I'll go get it. Momo nodded, see you later, I'm going to take a shower. Jirou, okay. See you. The girl waited for her friend to leave and slowly approached the boy so as not to wake him, although he was awake, she could tell because he was sighing. Jirou, me. Midoriya, are you okay? Izuku, Jirou-san, hi, I guess so, it's not like I have another choice. Jirou, would you mind if I accompany you? Maybe talking to someone will help. Izuku, with a slight smile on his face, it was the first genuine smile he had shown since last night, something that made a slight blush rise in the girl, Thank you very much, I'd love to. Unknowingly, the two talked for about 2 hours under a tree. It could be seen that Jirou had done her best because Izuku was already laughing with her. It was almost 1:30 p.m. In a moment of silence, both of their stomachs growled, as Jirou had trained all morning with Momo, and Izuku had only eaten half an apple since he left the kitchen as quickly as possible to avoid Uraka. Awkward silence. Followed by laughter. Izuku, I think we're hungry. They were still laughing. Jirou, I think so, with some tears caused by laughter. Izuku, how about we go get something to eat? Jirou, huh? Is he asking me out? I'm supposed to go out with Momo for lunch. Izuku, well, I think I'll go get something from the canteen. Jirou, why don't you join us? Besides, you and Momo always talk about quirks, so she won't mind. Izuku, for a moment the shy boy returned, as he understood what she had said. He had asked Jirou out, I'd love to join you. With a slight blush Jirou, blushing, okay. See you in the common area at 2:30 p.m. Both boys went to take a shower and get ready. Izuku wore jeans, a green jacket with purple accents, and his ever-reliable red boots. Jirou and Momo looked beautiful, at least that's what Mina and Toru said, who were going to the movies with Tsuyu and Uraka. Toru, hey, girls, you look great. Who's the lucky one? Jirou, huh? A date. A blush appeared on her face as she played with her connectors. Momo, with Midoriya, we're going to have lunch. Mina, what? Taking advantage now that he's free to flirt with him? Wow, girls, you sure beat me to it, she said smiling. In the common area, the boys were talking until they saw Izuku passing by. Kirishima, hey. Guy, who's the lucky one? Kaminari, what? Midoriya has a date. Sero, wow, and here I thought you were more serious. Mineta, no one paid attention to him, what? He has a date, why not me? Suddenly Tsuyu appears with Uraka and hits Mineta on the head. Uraka heard that Deku had a date, although she thought it was a lie, as he rejected her invitation to the movies. Mineta, throwing a tantrum, why are you hitting me? Tsuyu, because you're a pervert, that's why you don't have dates. Uraka, saw that Deku was dressed up to go out. Deku-kun, are you going out? Kaminari, what? They don't know, Midoriya has a date. Uraka, the poor girl was shocked because the boy hadn't wanted to go out with her, and also, she thought he had lied saying he would spend the afternoon alone. Izuku, it's not a date, guys. I'm just going to have lunch with Jirou and Yaoyorozu. Jirou invited me to go with them, so I accepted. Mineta, what? A date with two girls because He was hit by Tsuyu again. Momo and Jirou arrived at the common area and greeted their friends. This time Jirou was nervous because she didn't expect to see everyone, let alone know that she would go out with Midoriya. Momo noticed this and spoke. Momo, Midoriya, we're ready, shall we go? Izuku, Yaoyorozu-san, sorry for the trouble. Momo, it's no trouble, besides, it's nice to spend the afternoon with a guy who's not a total pervert. Looking at Mineta and the others. Uraka, since when do you get along so well with Deku? Uraka's words had bothered Momo and Jirou, though she said referring to Midoriya because for almost the entire class, Deku would be the next hero number one, and he had already saved them from death a couple of times. Jirou, well, he took me to a concert a while ago, and since then, besides, the lead singer of the band is his friend. Momo, Midoriya and I are good friends, since the beginning of the year, so I don't see any problem. Izuku, it was a low blow for Uraka, although he didn't know it. You look beautiful, girls, made Momo and Jirou blush. Toru, I told him the same thing. Midoriya, you have good taste in fashion. After that, the three of them left under the gaze of their friends, because even though they said Midoriya had a date, at least they said it as a joke. And Uraka watched as the girls walked arm in arm with Midoriya, each on one side. In fact, if you go back to the scene, you can see the exact moment her heart broke. It was strange. Usually Deku accepted going out with Uraka no matter how tired or bad he felt. She knew something was wrong because Deku never talked to another girl besides her or Tsuyu, sometimes with Hatsune, but this was because of the upgrades to his suit. Tsuyu, Ochako-chan, are we leaving? Uraka, yes, sorry, let's go, girls, she said almost without energy. Meanwhile, Izuku was escorting two beautiful girls, which caught the attention of several of his classmates, although the girls didn't pay much attention to him. Well, at least Momo didn't, while Jirou seemed nervous and somewhat flushed. There was a tense atmosphere because although they were classmates, they rarely spent time together outside the classroom. It was strange for them to be together outside, But everything changed when our timid hero, not so much anymore, decided to speak. Izuku, sigh, I'm sorry for bothering you, girls. In the end, you had to invite me out. Jirou, it's no trouble. Momo, what I said was true. Jirou and Izuku, huh? Momo, that it would be fun to spend time with you, so it's not a bother. Although I have a question for you. Izuku, of course, what's up? Momo, I didn't know that you and Kyoka-chan were good friends. Jirou, why'd you say that? Momo, well, you actually had your iPod in hand, and I didn't know you'd take almost 2 hours to look for something you had. The girl felt a slight blush on her face and started playing with her connectors. Although Izuku didn't quite understand what Yaoyorozu meant, the 2 hours she referred to, he had been talking with Jirou. The journey to where they were going to eat passed with calm conversation and some trivial questions the girls asked the young man. It was actually the first time they had spent time alone with him, without Ida or Uraka around. At the restaurant table. Although the boys were conversing fluently and our hero followed and participated in the conversation, there was a moment when only the girls were talking because our hero had a lost look, and his expression showed he was sad. Momo, Midoriya, are you okay? Jirou, she approached him and took him by the shoulder. Midoriya, what's wrong? Izuku, I'm really sorry, girls, it's about what I heard. Momo, what happened? Jirou, well, you see. Izuku, I heard what Uraka said, I wasn't eavesdropping, he apologized with this. Momo, about what she said about. Jirou, yeah, I found Midoriya when I went to look for my phone. Uncomfortable silence. Izuku, I'm sorry, girls, you're supposed to have fun, not listen to my problems. At the movies. The girls were having coffee outside the cinema since their show wouldn't start for another hour. It was a normal conversation, at least until Mina made a certain comment that upset Uraka. At least Tsuyu noticed it in her expression. Mina, which one do you think it is? Toru, what do you mean? Mina, about Midoriya. Tsuyu, she understood the question but still wanted to be sure. Mina-chan. Mina, I mean, which one of us do you think Midoriya likes? Toru, I think it must be Yaoyorozu, she's the one who could have the most in common with him. Mina, I say it's Jirou, it would be a fun couple, a rocker girl and a shy guy. Uraka, just laughed. Mina, Uraka? Uraka, what's up, Mina? Mina, are you sure about what you said last night? I mean, about Midoriya. Uraka, yeah, at least I think so, she said quietly. Tsuyu, always speaks her mind, this time was no exception, I like Karo. Toru, you mean Midoriya, since when? Tsuyu, since what happened at the USJ. The girls' afternoon continued normally, at least for 3 of them, as Uraka's friends could tell by her face that their words had left her thinking. Hours later. Izuku and the girls had returned to the dorms. They were chatting in the living room. Jirou was sitting in a huge armchair, Yaoyorozu and Midoriya shared another. The girls had spent the whole afternoon with Izuku trying to cheer him up, and it had worked to the point where they had become good friends, not just classmates. The girls were arriving at the dorms and saw the 3 chatting, so they decided to approach and greet them. Mina, hi guys, how was your date? Izuku, good, my stomach still hurts from laughing so much. Uraka, are you feeling better, Deku? She asked with a sad face. Izuku, yeah, it seemed like all I needed was to go out with someone to forget everything. Toru, so, Midoriya, who is it? Izuku, I don't understand. Toru, yeah, who do you like between the 2? Just to let you know, girls, because Tsuyu, she clicked her invisible friend on the head with her tongue. Toru, sorry, Tsuyu. Izuku, liking, not me, no, that's not. Momo, with a smile, don't mind them, Midoriya, they're teasing you. Jirou, girls, please don't tease him. Mina, come on, he looks so cute when he's nervous, it makes you want to tease him more. Uraka, she only listened to the conversation and smiled, something inside her hurt but she didn't know what. They kept talking until they saw the wall clock strike midnight, so they prepared to go to their rooms, but not before Jirou and Momo exchanged phone numbers with Izuku. Momo, Midoriya, what are you doing tomorrow? Izuku, well, I have to make up for a training day, and I think I'll have to review the lessons I missed on Friday. Uraka, Deku-kun, do you want me to help you study? Izuku, he never refused to do something with his friend. No, I think I prefer to study alone, I wouldn't want to be a bother to you. He said goodbye to the others and went to his room, thanking Jirou and Momo for cheering him up. The girls perfectly understood what Midoriya had tried to tell Uraka. Momo and Jirou knew he had heard what she had said about him, and the others were just surprised because he was always kind to everyone. But this time he sounded somewhat sharp and rude to his friend. In his room. This time was different, the boy could sleep peacefully. He had had a pleasant day and had realized everything he shared with Yaoyorozu and Jirou. On one hand, with Momo, they both liked to read. It was incredible how similar they were since they practically read the same books and novels. Plus, they liked to talk about quirks and how to develop them. And with Jirou, they had the same musical tastes, shared favorite bands, and even favorite songs, so it was a pleasant surprise for the boys to see that they could spend time together and have something to talk about, not just about classes. Uraka's room. Now it was Uraka who had a certain unease in her chest. She knew something was wrong, the strange way Deku had behaved with her and how he had talked to her, and the unexpected friendship with Momo and Jirou. It could be seen on the girl's face that something was bothering her. She just wanted to see what was going on with her friend and knew that the best way to solve whatever was wrong would be to do it when she woke up. The brunette sank into her thoughts. She had overlooked what she had said the night before about her feelings for the boy, but there was no way he could know unless one of the girls had told him because, according to the girls, the only one who hadn't noticed the boy's feelings was her. To be fair, the boy had never expressed or talked about his feelings to her, or she had never heard anyone mention it to him. And then there was Tsuyu. She wouldn't play with something like that, or would she? Actually, she was attracted to Deku. It's true that both boys had become closer friends since the USJ incident, but would that be enough for them to have a relationship? As the girl slept, instead of having sweet dreams, it was the opposite because she had a nightmare that would give her more questions than answers. Uraka's dream. She descended the dormitory stairs, hearing laughter from the area where the armchairs were. In them, she could see a green-haired boy sitting with his back to the kitchen, where she was Uraka. As she approached him, she could hear their conversation. Izuku, you're beautiful, I don't know how I was so blind. And you're my number one hero. Izuku, at least we're together. It was Sunday, our young hero woke up at 7:30 in the morning to go training. He went down to the kitchen, grabbed some juice, and a cereal bar. By the time the boy got ready to leave, it was almost 8 o'clock in the morning. The perfect time to run along the beach, at least that's what he thought, since it was a somewhat hot day, nothing better than the sea breeze to cool off. The boy was about to leave when someone called him, Deku-kun, it sounded from afar. The boy simply ignored his friend's call. Uraka was the only one who called him that. He kept walking as if he hadn't heard anything, but this time it was impossible to avoid it. The brown-haired girl was already just a few steps away from him and called him again. Uraka, Deku-kun. Izuku, oh. Good morning, Uraka-san. Uraka, Deku, is everything okay? Izuku, of course, I was just heading to train, I need to make up for a day if I want to control my quirk. Before the girl could say anything, someone approached and greeted them. Good morning, guys, said a girl with violet hair. Izuku, good morning, Jirou-san. Uraka, good day, Jirou. Jirou, hey, guys, are you heading to train? Can I join you? Momo stayed up late reading the novel you recommended, Midoriya, by the way, she said she loved it. Izuku, hee, slightly blushing, I knew our tastes were similar. Uraka, she pondered the boy's words, I was heading for breakfast. Deku is the one going to train. Jirou, the thought crossed her mind that she could be alone with the boy. Seriously, can I join? I don't like training alone. Uraka, Deku never lets anyone train with. Izuku, sure, but I'm going to the beach. Still want to come? Uraka, surprised, as the boy never let her train with him. Jirou, what? But the beach is more than 10 kilometers away. How do you plan to get there? Izuku, jumping. Of course, if you don't mind me being the transportation. Jirou, transportation? What do you mean, like jumping? The boy stopped to explain to both girls what he meant. It seems that the only way to get to the beach on time if she wanted to go with the boy was a ride on his back. Both girls couldn't help blushing at the thought of being carried by the boy. Uraka, that would be very embarrassing for me. Izuku, remembering what he heard on Friday, his sad face appeared again. Jirou, well, Midoriya, if you're okay with it, I am too. Just don't drop me, or you'll be dead. Both boys set off, leaving the brown-haired girl astonished. As the boy had said, Jirou climbed onto his back, and he held her under her legs, avoiding touching further up. After a few minutes, the boys were already arriving at the beach. It seems that the ride on the boy's back was very enjoyable, although it was somewhat terrifying to be so high in the air, and the only thing the girl could do was hug the boy from behind his neck. It had been a minute since they arrived, but the girl hadn't noticed because she was still clinging to the boy's back with her eyes closed, only until he brought her back to reality. Izuku, Jirou. Jirou-san, we've arrived. Jirou, I'm sorry for that. Both blushing, wow, this beach is beautiful. The last I remember of it is that people used it as a garbage dump. I think there was even an abandoned truck here. Izuku, he said it without thinking, yeah, it was really tough to clean it completely. Jirou, what? What do you mean clean it completely? Izuku, surprised by the girl's outburst, well, it was part of my training. It took me 10 months to clean it up. I think I passed out a couple of times from how tired I was. Jirou, wow. You're amazing, Midoriya. Izuku, thank you. With a blush on his face, although, even with that, I can't control my quirk. The boys started training, well, at least Izuku did, as Jirou couldn't help but watch him from time to time. How he exerted himself seemed incredible to her. It was incredible that he alone had cleaned up a beach that had been a dump for as long as she could remember. The girl fell exhausted, it was impossible to keep up. I give up, was all she could say before lying down on the sand to enjoy the sea breeze. Izuku trained for another 20 minutes, during which the girl couldn't help but watch him, and she even took advantage of the moment when the boy took off his shirt to secretly take a picture. Photo taken by Jirou. Jirou, hey Mito. The boy had disappeared, he left me here, this can't be Izuku. The boy sat down beside her, here, I thought you might be thirsty, so I brought you something to drink. Jirou, thank you. Now it was the girl stuttering Izuku, his stomach betrayed him, wow. He said, blushing, I guess all that exercise made me hungry. Do you mind if we head back? Elsewhere, far from there, the other students listened in surprise as they couldn't believe what was happening. They all thought the brown-haired girl was lying. Toru, what? Another date, wow, Midoriya doesn't waste any time. Mina, Momo, they're snatching your guy away. Momo, Mina, please, Midoriya is just a good friend. As formal as ever. Tsuyu, are you sure, Ochako-chan? Midoriya never lets anyone train with him, Karo. Uraka, that's what I thought too, but they left almost 3-0. Suddenly, a green flash was seen through the window, and there were the two of them. They couldn't believe what they were seeing. Jirou hugged Midoriya's neck, and he carried her by her legs. The short shorts the girl wore made his skin touch hers directly. Mina, you're right, Toru, the boy wastes no time. Uraka, sad face, see. Momo, and I thought Kyoka liked him, she looks at Kaminari. The boy was talking with Mineta about, well, you know, the only thing Mineta thinks about, now I see why she doesn't anymore. While Midoriya put Jirou down so she could catch her breath, as she wasn't used to the big jumps the boy made, they were entering the room, their faces showed they had fun, the teasing from the guys and some jealousy could be heard. Sero, wow, dude, you really don't waste any time, he said to Midoriya Kirishima, the boy sure became a man. Bakugo, what? That idiot. Mineta, another date, I want a duh. There's no need to explain who punched him. Izuku, a DDD date. Guys, it was just. Jirou, grow up, guys, we went to train. It seems you don't know what that is, that's why you're so weak. Critical hit to all their egos. Before anyone could say anything, she said goodbye to the boy and thanked him, just to go take a shower in her room. Izuku, why you're welcome, Jirou, I think I'll go take a shower too and get something to eat. Uraka, Deku. She spoke so softly that no one noticed. Momo, Midoriya, would you mind if I eat with you? This surprised everyone. I'd like to talk about the book you recommended, I'd like you to explain some things to me. Izuku, I'd love to, he said, blushing, but I have to review the classes I missed. Momo, ranking number 1 in grades, if you don't mind, I can help you study, so you can finish faster, and we can talk. Everyone was still surprised because Yaoyorozu was never so direct, especially with a boy. Izuku, well, in that case, with your help, everything would be easier. The boy agreed with her and said goodbye to go for a shower and something to eat. Plans had changed a bit after a while. The boy came down from his room to eat something. He could see Jirou struggling with the stove to cook something, which seemed cute to him. Izuku, everything okay, Jirou? He said with a slight smile. Jirou, no. I'm hungry, and I can't make anything, and besides, the cafeteria is closed. Izuku, He teased her a bit. Don't worry, want me to make you something? I'm not the best chef, but at least you won't starve. I warn you that you'll be the first to taste my cooking. Jirou, blushing and surprised, really? Izuku, let's say it's my way of thanking you for what you did for me. The boy started to cook. In the living room, the other students were still surprised, with their idiotic faces. What had happened to Midoriya, who couldn't talk to any girl, not even the boys in his class other than Ida or Todoroki, but there he was. Sero, wow, guys, what happened to Midoriya? Kaminari, what do you mean? He seems the same to me. Sero, don't be stupid, since when can he talk to girls? Mineta, girls don't even talk to us. Kirishima, come on, guys, he's a good guy. It would be weird if he were still so Midoriya after what happened. The dishes were served on the table. For Deku, it was a simple plate of katsudon, his favorite food, but apparently, Jirou had tasted a delicacy worthy of the gods. At this very moment, Tsuyu and Uraka were coming out of the elevators, though surprised to see the scene of Deku eating alone with Jirou. I think what they heard was something Uraka couldn't believe. She argued mentally, how was it possible if she had been his friend from day one, and in just 2 days, Jirou and Momo had done more with him than she had in almost a year. Jirou, wow, Midoriya, this is the best food I've ever tasted in the whole world. I didn't know you were such a good cook. Izuku, thanks, I think I learned everything from my mom. Jirou, she said without thinking, wow, I'd love to meet your mother. Someday I have to eat something she prepares. Izuku, he blushed because he wanted to meet his mom. Well, I guess so. Uraka, I think she was in a state of shock after hearing that. I think it was the first time she really felt jealous of someone. Tsuyu, approaching the table, guys, can I try, Karo? Jirou, of course, Tsuyu, this will be the best thing you've ever tasted, the girl affirmed. Tsuyu, Midoriya-chan, you have to share your recipe, Karo. Poor Izuku was blushing and flattered because apparently, everyone was interested in his food and approached to try it. Luckily for him, he had made extra, so everyone could taste a bit, well, everyone except Uraka, who had gone to her room, although the only one who noticed was Midoriya, he didn't give it much importance. Unanimous decision, Midoriya was undoubtedly the best cook they had ever known. Sero, kid, are you sure you want to be a hero? Izuku, of course, why do you ask? Kirishima and Kaminari, Midoriya, you'd be richer than Yaoyorozu's family if you became a professional chef. Bakugo, what are you idiots saying like the damn knee? Kirishima shoved the spoon into his mouth, Bakugo left without saying anything. Kirishima, see, even Bakugo liked it. On the girls' floor. Uraka watched in amazement as her friend entered Yaoyorozu's room. Apparently, she didn't remember that the raven-haired girl would help him study and talk about a book he had recommended. Inside the girls' room, the study session had ended. It had been harder than she thought, even with her friend's help, she had trouble understanding the lessons. She thanked him for helping her, and now they were sitting side by side on the floor of the room. The boy held the book in his hands, and Momo looked at him they were very close, but apparently, they didn't care much. Someone knocked on the door, and the boys didn't care much about the position they were in, so Momo just said, it's open, you can come in. Uraka, Yaoyorozu, can you lend me your... She saw the girl leaning on Deku. Momo, what's up, Uraka? Uraka, sorry for interrupting, I didn't know you were busy. She knew. Izuku, hi, Uraka-san, she was helping me with my lessons, but we're done now. Uraka, well, I think I'll come back later when you're less busy. Momo, sure, it's not something important. Uraka, don't worry, she left the room, ran to hers, she had finally realized what she felt, she was jealous. Momo, that was weird. Izuku, just nodded. Momo, Midoriya, do you have feelings for Uraka? Izuku, nervous, well, I used to, but I think it was just me, remember what she said, although I'm not sad anymore thanks to you and Jir. He blushed. Momo, Midoriya, do you have feelings for Kyoka? Izuku, if I tell you the truth, don't tell her, he said shyly, you have to promise me. Momo, nodded, I give you my word as Yaoyorozu. Izuku, I think maybe, I'm feeling something more than just friends. Momo, the girl looked happy, all I can say is that you should try. Just like he had discussed with Yaoyorozu, Izuku decided he would let his feelings speak for him. He wouldn't shut himself off from what he used to feel anymore. He even resolved not to give more importance to what he had heard. What Uraka had said was what she felt, and he wouldn't judge her for it anymore. So, as Yaoyorozu suggested, he would make some changes in his life. 1. He needed to stop being so shy and be able to talk to his other classmates. She told him not to change his personality but to have more confidence, like when he was Deku, his hero name. 2. Fix things with Uraka. 3. Figure out if he really had feelings for his friend Jirou. Even though he had avoided talking to his friend all weekend, from now on, Monday before class started, everything would be the same with her. Classroom 1A. Izuku, Uraka-san, Ida, good morning. Ida, Midoriya, good morning. Uraka, Deku-kun, good day. There was still some tension between the brunette and our green-haired friend, even our absent-minded class president could notice. Ida, did something happen, guys? Izuku, it was a strange weekend, I think the week left me exhausted. Uraka, came up with some excuse. Deku, can we talk after class? Izuku, answered calmly, of course. The young man approached to greet his new friends, something he had never done before. Jirou, Midoriya, everything okay? Izuku, yes, thanks to you and Yaoyorozu's advice. Momo, so, everything will be the same as before. Izuku, no, it can't be like before. I have to follow your advice. At least now I can count on you, and you can count on me. Momo, and about the last thing we talked about, you have my full support. Izuku, slight blush, yes, I think you were right. The purple-haired girl was puzzled by this conversation, but she knew that Midoriya and Momo had been studying together and talking about the books he had recommended to her, so she decided not to give it more importance. Since it was Monday, classes were nothing out of the ordinary. English, algebra were common classes. During break, Bakugo and Kirishima fought with Monoma until Kendo arrived, and well, the fight ended. Now the boy ate normally as he always did, sitting with Ida and Uraka. The only difference was that now Momo and Jirou were with them, although they only spoke with Izuku, something that made the brunette feel strange. They also talked with Ida, but when they talked about books, he was impressed by what Izuku and Momo told him, so he just listened. And with Jirou, well, they only talked about music. Strangely enough, Ida also liked mostly classic rock. Afternoon classes were more of the same, nothing remarkable. Well, Mineta was hit by Tsuyu, which made everyone laugh at him. The bell rang, indicating the end of classes. Everyone left the classroom orderly, well, almost everyone, as two stayed behind to talk. Uraka, Deku-kun, is everything okay? Izuku, yes, or what do you mean? Uraka, you've been acting weird these past few days. Izuku, about that, I heard some things I shouldn't have heard, that made me feel bad, but Jirou and Momo were a lot of help. Uraka, why didn't you tell me? Izuku, I'm sorry, I didn't want to be a bother. Midoriya, Momo told me she'd join us to study today's lessons at 7 in my room. Izuku, thank you, Jirou-san. Jirou, I'm sorry, I didn't know you were busy. Uraka, don't worry, Jirou, it wasn't anything. Izuku, yeah, nothing important. The words hit the brunette hard in the chest. Jirou, in that case, what do you say if you join us? The more, the merrier. Uraka, maybe another time, I'm not feeling very well. The week went by without any incidents. Izuku talked normally with her and with Ida, although now every day he had time to talk to Jirou or Momo, whether it was about books, music, or under the pretext of studying. It was already Friday, which meant that the girls' sleepover would take place, every Friday. Today it would be in Momo's room at 8 p.m. Izuku, are you sure I should be here? Momo, no problem, the girls arrive after 8. Jirou, jokingly, why don't you stay with us tonight? Izuku, he swore steam came out of his ears, no, I shouldn't, Momo, relax, she said it in jest. Knocking on the door, can we come in? Momo, come in, girls, it's open. Mina, gra. A boy. So we'll have fun tonight. Uraka, Mina-san. Izuku, Izuku-san, I didn't. Jirou, sorry, Midoriya, Mina, he just helped us study. Toru, why doesn't he stay? Momo, because it's a girls' sleepover, what's the point of having a boy here? Izuku, sorry, girls, have fun. He ran out of there with his face as red as Kirishima's hair. The girls just laughed at the comedic scene and decided to continue their evening. They talked about trivial things, Mina and Toru about the rumors they had heard, nothing interesting. So it went for a while, they were all having a good time until Toru suggested something really interesting for them, even Tsuyu wanted to participate. Toru, girls, how about we play truth or dare? Tsuyu, that would be interesting, Ribbit. Mina, yes. Count me in. Jirou, okay. Momo, excited, this will be the first time I play something like this. Uraka, seemed distracted or somewhat pensive, yeah, why not? The first rounds were nothing more than trivial things for girls. You could say they were having fun until Mina and Toru decided to talk about boys again. This was how sleepovers usually ended, talking about boys, although they almost never talked about boys from the class, but this time the truth or dare game was involved. Mina spins the bottle, alright, Uraka, it's your turn to choose, truth or dare. Uraka, truth. Mina, if it's not Midoriya, then do you like Ida-san? Uraka answered sincerely and seemingly without remorse, of course not. Mina, what a boring answer. Several turns passed, it seemed that Kirishima was attractive to Mina and Midoriya was cute, Toru liked Ojiro. Toru, so, Momo, which guy in the class do you like the most? Momo, She thought for a few seconds, I think it would be Midoriya, he's the one I have the most in common with, and I'm impressed by everything he knows about heroes, nobody beat Izuku when it came to heroes. Uraka watched surprised because apparently she wasn't the only one who found the green-haired guy attractive. Mina, Jirou, it's your turn to answer. Who would you go on a date with? Toru, it would be with Kaminari, right? Tsuyu, you would go out with Midoriya, Ribbit. Jirou, blushing, it would be, I think Midoriya, he's not an idiot like Kaminari, and he likes the same music as me, she explained embarrassed. Mina, why don't you ask him out, Uraka? You're the one who knows him best. Do you think he'd go out with you? Uraka, she knew something was off, since when was Deku so popular with girls? I don't know. I've never seen Deku worry about anything other than becoming a hero. She was right, her friend had never talked about any romantic interest. In fact, the only friend they knew of his was Bakugo, and well, they weren't exactly good friends anymore. And the part about her knowing him better than anyone at UA wasn't entirely true, as she didn't know the things Momo and Jirou knew about Deku. Even Bakugo should know more about Midoriya than her. Or at least that's what she thought at that moment. And so ended the girls' night, they all agreed that the best guy was Midoriya. He was the most noble and dedicated of all, and cute in Mina and Toru's words. Izuku's harem gained new followers after that night. It was Saturday morning, and the boys were gathered in the gym, right in the combat area because thanks to Kirishima and Kaminari's idea, the boys would have practiced duels, well, at least those who wanted to participate. First round. 1 Izuku vs Kaminari. Winner, Izuku. Kaminari used all his power in an attack, which Izuku dispersed with a Delaware smash. After that, Kaminari's circuits fried, and he exited the ring alone, ending the match. 2 Kirishima vs Mineta. Winner, Kirishima. Mineta used his grapes to bounce and try to punch Kirishima, who just hardened and Mineta fell knocked out. 3 Ida vs Sero. Winner, Ida. Ida used his speed, grabbed one of Sero's tapes, and wrapped him with it. 4 Tokoyami vs Todoroki. Winner, Todoroki. It was a tight match at first until Todoroki used his fire side, and well, Dark Shadow was out of commission. Second round. 1 Izuku vs Kirishima. Winner, Izuku. Given Kirishima's quirk, the match was somewhat slow until he reached his limit and succumbed to Izuku's pressure. Before fainting, he was expelled from the ring by a wave created by Izuku. 2 Ida vs Todoroki. The match extended until there was nowhere else for Ida to run, as Todoroki had frozen everything. In the end, Todoroki froze Ida's engines, and he had no choice but to surrender. Third round. Final, Izuku vs Todoroki. The boys decided to take a brief break since the first 2 rounds had been back-to-back. For this case, Kirishima decided to let all their classmates know about the fight so they could come and support their friends. 1A class dorm building, lounge. All the boys were gathered in the lounge, so Kirishima gave them the news. Some were surprised, and others mocked the losers, particularly Mineta and Kaminari since they lost their matches on their own. Kirishima, guys, you have to come. Midoriya and Todoroki are going to fight. Everyone, what? Surprised Kaminari, relax, we're just training, it's not a real fight. Toru, really? Who else is fighting? Sero, just them, they've defeated the rest of us. Mina, so, it's a final. Kaminari, yes. They're the best. The boys congratulated them for defeating the others and continued to tease Mineta, who had a big bump on his head from colliding with Kirishima. Ida, Midoriya, you have to beat Todoroki. Uraka, are you nervous, Deku-kun? Izuku, a little, but it's not a real match, at least it won't end up like in the sports festival. Momo, Midoriya, we'll be cheering for you. Make sure to win. Izuku, Yaoyorozu-san, thank you, I'll do my best. Momo, you have to impress her. Izuku, blushing like a tomato, trying to cover his face with his arms. Uraka, impress who? Jirou, still laughing, you didn't even have to hit Kaminari to win, you're amazing, she said to Izuku. Izuku, blushing, I didn't, thank you. Jirou, Momo, we have to go watch them. Midoriya, you can win, we believe in you. Wink. Izuku, our hero almost had a heart attack. Uraka, as it had been in the last few weeks, every time she talked to Deku and Momo or Jirou appeared, she was ignored. The match had started, just like in the sports festival. Todoroki attacked by creating large ice walls, and Izuku destroyed them. But this time, there was a small detail: Izuku could control his quirk up to 40% of its strength without taking major damage. The most serious issue now would be running out of energy. On the other hand, Todoroki was starting to freeze because he still wasn't using his hot side. Although he no longer harbored resentment toward his father, just the thought of his mother made him want to win using only the power inherited from her. Todoroki had a certain revenge with Midoriya since he was the one who caused him to use his hot side in their match at the sports festival. He didn't hold a grudge, but Midoriya was the first person to make him use all his strength to defeat him. This time Izuku didn't urge him to use it. He had learned that a hero has to seize the opportunities his opponent gives him to defeat him, at least when the opponent is stronger than you. They had been fighting for 10 minutes, and they were starting to get tired. It was now a test of endurance. Whoever reached their limit first would be the loser. Todoroki launched an ice wall at Izuku, and he activated his full cowl at 20%, concentrating all his power in his right leg to launch a Manchester Smash. That's the name of his special move. At that moment, Todoroki reached his limit, and the ice wall was halfway, making it easier for Izuku to break through. When Todoroki activated his other half, he did it with a big blaze. Upon receiving Izuku's impact, covering his face with his hot half, a large smoke explosion occurred due to the pressure generated by Deku. Thanks to Dark Shadow, they were able to dissipate all the smoke generated by the explosion. Both boys were still standing, but one had left the ring. Although he was still standing, there was already a winner. Outcome: third round, final. Winner, Izuku Midoriya, Deku. The kids in the stands couldn't believe what they had seen. The most powerful first-year student, son of hero number 2, had been defeated. Certainly, everyone was impressed by Midoriya's transformation. It seems like all those hours of training and effort were paying off. Kaminari, wow, I guess I was lucky to get out of there alive. Jirou, yeah, you should be thankful you walked out, she teased. Kaminari, oh, shush. I thought I could handle my energy. The kids chuckled a bit at his unfortunate way of losing Momo. Midoriya's strength is astonishing. Jirou, he's amazing, even in his training, it's intense. I couldn't even keep up for 10 minutes, she explained to everyone. Mina, true, they had a beach date. Jirou, blushing, it wasn't a date. We were just training. Certainly, everyone was impressed by the outcome, but someone was even more impressed, Todoroki. He had taken it as a personal revenge to defeat Midoriya without using his father's power. It seems that now that he controlled his power, Midoriya would be invincible. Even though he could only control 40% of his strength without hurting himself, he could use up to 50%, but that would quickly exhaust him in battle. On the battlefield, there were still Todoroki, Midoriya, and Kirishima, who was the referee of the match. Since Todoroki seemed more injured, he was exhausted from the excessive use of his half-cold side. He approached him to see if he was okay or if they needed to take him to Recovery Girl. Izuku also approached to see how he was. Kirishima, Todoroki, are you alright, bro? Todoroki, yeah, I just need to warm up. Izuku, Todoroki, everything okay? Todoroki, yeah, I was telling Kirishima that I just need to warm up. Izuku, I think I do too. He had some frost on his uniform, and he was trembling a bit. Todoroki, you finally mastered all your power. Kirishima, man, that was amazing, your new attack is really effective. At that moment, all the kids had come down to see how they were doing and to congratulate them on their duel. Although the winner would receive more praise, it was clear that both were more than a threat to anyone who wanted to challenge them. Poor Dark Shadow was still in shy mode from his previous fight with Todoroki. Everyone arrived just in time to hear the conversation Izuku was having with Kirishima and Todoroki. Izuku, hey. Thanks, but for now, I can only use 40% of my quirk without hurting myself, and up to 50%, but that exhausts me quickly. Let's say that would be the last resort. Todoroki, he was impressed. Izuku had practically defeated him with less than half of his total power, considering that he used 50% of his power almost throughout their encounter and then suddenly went to 100%, and yet Midoriya managed to defeat him. It was clear who was the most powerful. Kaminari, what? You can only use less than half of your strength. Izuku, without hurting myself, yes, beyond that, it means broken bones again. Mina, wow, you're amazing. Midoriya. Momo, your training must be tough. Jirou, she spoke without thinking, yes, it is. I had to watch for almost 1 hour, and he never stopped. I was exhausted after 10 minutes. Toru, true, their beach date, why don't you tell us more? Mina, yeah. How does it feel to be carried by Midoriya? How comfortable is his back? Jirou, eh. She covered her face because the blush was evident on her uraka. The word date and Midoriya made her feel uncomfortable. She had never had a date with him, not even to train. Izuku, blushing, it wasn't a date, we were just training. Mina, but how does his back feel? Gee. One of the girls' connectors was stuck in poor Mina, ha. It was just a joke, don't take it so seriously. Toru and Momo, ha 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 ha, you brought it on yourself for teasing her. After that brief chat, everyone congratulated Izuku for his great fight. Uraka decided to stay behind to talk to him, and even though she still felt uncomfortable talking to the boy because he had been treating her differently lately, ever since he started hanging out with Yaoyorozu and Jirou, the boy no longer paid as much attention to her old feelings. Uraka, Deku-kun, congratulations on your match. Izuku, Uraka-san, thank you. The boy's friendly tone towards her had returned. Uraka, can I ask you something? Izuku, sure, what's up? Uraka, is everything okay now, right? Izuku, at first, he didn't understand the question, huh? What do you mean? Oh, yeah, don't worry, I think everything is finally over. Uraka, will you tell me everything that happened to you? Izuku, his shyness returned for a moment, it's nothing, really. In the end, it turned out to be nothing important. I'd feel like an idiot if anyone found out. He said with his usual warm smile. Uraka, okay, I'm glad everything's back to normal. Common room of Class 1A dormitories. Kaminari and Kirishima suggested having a small party to celebrate Midoriya and to take advantage of the absence of Mineta, who was unconscious in the infirmary. Bakugo, his mother came for him, gave him a smack on the head, and took him away, and Ida, he went to see his brother who was still recovering. Kaminari, so guys, what do you think? Everyone, except Izuku, Momo, and Todoroki, yes. Kirishima, Vice President, Momo, what do you say? Mina, come on, Yaoyorozu, say yes. Jirou, yeah, Momo, you'll say yes, right? Momo, alright, but you'll have to clean up everything you do. Everyone, except Izuku, Momo, and Todoroki, yes. Our young green-haired boy was sitting in the room chatting with everyone and agreeing on their little party plan. With a plan in place, 4 of the girls went to buy drinks and snacks, and the boys asked for permission to do it. Aizawa was in a good mood that day, so he said yes. If you wonder why he was in a good mood, well, some say they saw Ms. Joke, Emi Fukukado, enter his room. Todoroki went to his room to take a hot bath, as he was still frozen. And Izuku stayed chatting with Momo and Jirou. For some reason, no one else was in the common room. Momo, that was a great fight, Midoriya. Izuku, thanks, Yaoyorozu. Momo, you don't need to go to the infirmary. Izuku, no. It would be worse with recovery girl. I just need a hot bath. Momo, and what do you think about Midoriya's fight, Jirou? Jirou, a little blush, it's impressive. Izuku, blushing, thanks, Jirou. That made Jirou blush even more. Momo, I saw you talking to Uraka in the end, is everything okay? Jirou, she felt a bit jealous, she didn't know why. Izuku, yeah, I wonder if she's alright now. I think it was because of my attitude and well. The boy told them about his conversation with Uraka. Jirou, is that true? I mean, you don't feel anything for her anymore. Momo, surprised by the direct response. Izuku, she's just a friend now, so yeah, I don't feel anything for her anymore. Momo, so that means? Izuku, yes, as I told you, you're right. Maybe tonight I'll talk to her. Jirou, looking at the guys as she didn't know what they were talking about. What's the secret, guys? Momo, you heard it, maybe tonight you'll figure it out. Izuku, blushing, Momo almost revealed his secret. Well, I'll go take a bath, see you later. And so the afternoon passed until it was time to start their little party. It's worth mentioning that our hero changed his hot bath for a cold one because of what Momo had said. Our hero had felt extreme heat in his body accompanied by a face as red as a tomato or Kirishima's hair, whichever you consider redder. Our boy dressed up nicely since it was a party, even though it was in his own dorm room. He felt strange, so he decided to ask someone about it. When he went out, he saw that the guys had also dressed nicely, calming his doubts. But he still needed advice, he needed to talk to his friend. Our boy dressed up nicely since it was a party, even though it was in his own dorm room. He felt strange, so he decided to ask someone about it. When he went out, he saw that the guys had also dressed nicely, calming his doubts. The boy came to his senses. The only one who knew something was Momo, but they weren't yet close enough friends to ask her for that kind of advice, and his best friend didn't know. So, he would have to explain everything to her to see if she could help him in any way. On the other hand, the boy thought, if I ask Suyu-chan, forget it, I think I'll go with Momo. The boy went up to the women's floor and headed to Momo's room. He had come to the conclusion that this was his best option. She already knew how he felt and had told him to give it a try, plus she hadn't told anything to his friend, so he knew he could trust her. He knocked on the door. Izuku, Yaoyorozu-san, can I ask you something? It's Midoriya. Momo, yes, of course, give me a second. Footsteps are heard walking towards the door. Come in, young man, with a smile on the face. Izuku thought out loud, wow. You look beautiful, Jirou. This is how Jirou looked. This is how Jirou looked. This is how Jirou looked. Jirou, A wild blush appears. Thank you, you look good too. Someone who was leaving her room saw and heard this scene, then just went back into her room. Poor Uraka felt like something was wrong. Momo, guys, everything okay? Izuku thought about what he had said. Yes, I was just telling Jirou that she looked very nice. Momo, wow, that's kind of you. And how do I look? I'd like to hear your opinion. The brunette listened to the conversation through the wall of her room. In my story, Uraka is in between Jirou and Momo's rooms. Izuku, you look very lovely. He said, scratching his head from behind Momo. Thank you very much, Midoriya. So, what did you want to ask? Izuku, well, it wasn't anything important. I'll tell you later at the party. Let's finish up here first. Momo, are you sure? Izuku, yeah, don't worry. I'll see you later. The boy couldn't ask her about Jirou if she was there, and he couldn't tell her he wanted to talk in private, maybe that would seem strange. So, he had to talk to someone else. But his best friend wouldn't be there until Monday, and he couldn't trust the other guys with a secret. Momo, wow, Midoriya looked really good. Jirou, blushing, yeah. With a smile. Momo, everything okay, Jirou? Jirou, why'd you ask? Momo, well, for the past few days, whenever you see Midoriya, your face blushes. Jirou spoke without thinking, is it that noticeable? Uraka continued to listen to the girls' conversation. Momo, seriously, tell me, what do you think of him? Referring to Izuku. Jirou, Momo, come on, we're friends, you can trust me. Jirou, alright. I've always found his dedication and effort to become a hero incredible, I thought that without even knowing him. But now that I know him, he's someone so kind and noble who always cares about others, even putting his own life at risk to save them. Plus, he has really good taste in music. Momo, I know what you mean. He'll definitely be a great hero, but that's not what I meant. What do you feel for him? Jirou, I don't know, but when he said I looked beautiful. Mina, at Uraka's door, Ochako, come on, we're waiting for you. Suyu's with me. Uraka, The girls heard that, yes, I'm coming. The three of them left, and Uraka remained intrigued by what Jirou would say. Momo, you feel something for him. Jirou, I think that. Girls, come on, everyone's downstairs already, we're the only ones left. Momo, we're coming, Toru. The girls left the room and headed to the common room. Although Yaoyorozu couldn't confirm it, she knew she had to help her two friends, Midoriya and Jirou, figure out their feelings.